and welcome back to the Rats Get Fat podcast. My name is Jake Straat, and I'm joined by my friend
Zuzz Rains.
and we are bringing you today a very special podcast episode of Rats Get Fat. Zuzz, where are we and who are we talking to?
Well, we are in Perth. We are in a very, very special shop named The Tat Shop, which is actually like the oldest tattoo shop in Perth, which is crazy.
It's been here for a very long time.
Yeah. And we are speaking to the owner, Noel Wilkinson.
Noel, how are you, mate?
Yeah, cool. No problem.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having us in your studio. We're so thankful to be here, and we're so thankful to talk to you.
It was nice meeting you guys at the convention.
Yeah.
Because we were very fortunate enough to be next to the tat shop in the aisle, which we were in at the West Oz Tattoo Expo.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, there were some amazing artists at the convention around. Every style was covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was a really, really well-run convention too.
It had a very good atmosphere, I think.
Yeah.
It was incredible. We were sort of, alongside you guys, watching you guys do all the awesome trad stuff. We were also doing just the trad stuff, and we were surrounded by the insane amount of talent here over in WA.
It was great.
Because you've been here a very long time. Noel, like, when did you sort of get into tattooing? And
About 42 years ago.
yeah,
But this shop has been here for 42 years. I didn't own it in the early days. I had a shop in Bunbury.
Oh, yeah.
But tattooing was different in those days, and there wasn't as much work around overall. There was a lot less shops as well, obviously. So I used to, when Keith opened this shop, I used to come up here and work here a couple of days a week. And we've become friends over the years, and eventually it's my shop now.
Yeah.
and Keith was Dutchy's apprentice.
Yeah, Keith Martin, he's from Western Australia. I think he originally started under Ricky, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to Sydney and he studied under Dutchy Cornelissen, hence all the Dutchy type flash that we've got around the shop, which we saved. When I got the shop, Keith had sold it to another guy, and all that flash was in a milk crate.
Oh, really?
And I said, "What are you going to do with that?" And he said, "I'm going to throw it down the tip."
Oh, my God.
No, you won't be.
I said, "Are you fucking crazy?"
Give me that shit.
And that's how it got saved. If I was in here a day later, all that flash would have been gone forever.
Oh, thank God for that. Holy.
Wow. Yeah, right place, right time.
Yeah. Meant
Wow.
to be.
But I've worked here pretty much for my whole career, both part-time and as an owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Well, I don't know, we were just talking to Sonny. It's so like refreshing to see how much passion and inspiration is in this shop. And it's still so good to see that you're still tattooing all these years later.
What else am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, but your tats rip.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the guys that have been doing it a very long time, you know, their tattoos seem to not be as good as they used to be, you know?
Well, mine aren't as good as they used to be, in my opinion.
They must have been fucking epic then. Holy.
But, and you guys are no doubt the same. As a tattooer, you're your own worst critic, and every tattoo you do, you think, fuck, I could have done that better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I approach tattooing.
100%.
Okay. Well, yeah, all the awards in there. I did a little video for everyone watching at home. You can see got all the Knowles awards and the shop awards. Yeah, it's so awesome to be out here in Western Australia, and we had to come here and talk to you.
We've got I thank you very much. We've got a really good team of guys here. I'm real proud to have them working with me.
Yeah.
And we're a team. They're not. I don't reckon they work for me. They work with me.
Yeah.
100%. Do you find working with these younger guys that are so passionate about it, it's also keeping you quite sprightly and young in the industry where, you know, you still do want to rip tats because you're alongside these guys?
Yeah, plus you think you're going to pass the baton on to somebody worthy.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
Otherwise the history's going to be gone. Because no disrespect to some tattooers coming into it these days, but they'll be here today and some of them will do some amazing work, but they'll be gone in 5 years.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's it. I find with like the consistent sort of, just consistency is really important with that kind of stuff. I find with a lot of tattooers, kind of people getting into it nowadays, there's a lot of ups and downs and it's not very consistent.
And so many different styles. And I mean, some of them are amazing, but our guys paint every day.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Us too.
Yeah. We try.
Yeah, we try and paint every day.
My son works here, as you know. He's been tattooing 12 years. My daughter used to work here. She's in another shop south of the river now. She's been tattooing 30 years.
Yep.
Yep.
My granddaughter is hassling shit at me for an apprenticeship. So
Third generation tattooer.
if she comes in, it'll be 3 generations.
Yeah.
Unreal, Noel. It was really nice as well at the after party. I ended up sitting down with you and your wife Sue, and I don't know. I really enjoyed sort of sitting there and just talking to you guys about it, and hearing some of the stories, and it was magic for me.
Yeah, well, I suppose if you don't tell that history's going to be gone forever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you've got to share some of it with somebody. Some we can't share.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mum's the word.
Exactly. But that's why we tried to start this podcast and try to get some of it kind of down on the record before it's all gone.
Yep.
You know?
I find a lot of the old stories you would only hear from these guys if you were going to get a tattoo from them. So we thought we'd start Rats Get Fat podcast so we could sit down with these guys before it was too late, or before they retire, or before they,
Pass away, yeah. We're all getting on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
So it's so nice to sit down and catch a few of those old stories before they're not
Yeah.
around anymore.
Yeah, and we can't capture all the stories. So if you do want some of the other stories, you're gonna have to come and say hello.
Yeah.
Hey.
Come and get a tat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're open here 7 days a week.
100%.
Well,
You won't be disappointed.
I'm here most of those days.
Yeah. I've heard.
My wife says, "Oh, when are you going to retire?" And I thought, "Fuck, what else am I going to do? I want to do tattoos."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
I've heard there's no bloody stopping you. I heard you broke your leg and there was no getting you out of here.
It was hard getting up the stairs, I will admit, but
Yeah, I'll say. It's like bloody 2 flights of steps and you're getting up here on a handmade bloody walking stick and
Right.
still hanging around.
I still come in every day.
Yeah. Good on you.
But I didn't do any tattooing or anything for probably about a month, which was stressing me out.
Yeah?
Sure.
But I couldn't really.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
But I did come in, hang out with the guys, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
for
cool
sure.
environment, I imagine.
Yeah, for sure. Because you were just talking to us about you guys would tattoo all the old American guys.
No, the young American guys.
Oh, the young American guys that all come through.
We used to get the US Navy in here on a regular basis every 6 to 8 weeks. There'd be a carrier. And as an example, one aircraft carrier, there's 5,000 people on it.
Yes.
Holy.
There wasn't many tattoo shops in Perth, as probably in them days it wasn't in Sydney or anywhere, Melbourne or so forth and so forth. We used to be one of the main go-to shops. Rick Luter's shop was the other main go-to shop in Fremantle.
Yes. 5-star.
And
This season of the Rats Get Fat podcast is brought to you by the legends over at Good Guys Supply. Since 2006, this Canadian team of tattooers has been dialed in on one thing: creating high-quality tools that artists can actually rely on. They're sticklers for detail, passionate about the craft, and committed to keeping their gear accessible no matter where in the world you're working. From Canada and all around the globe, Good Guys Supplies got you covered. Go and support the team that deserves your support. Big love to Natalie, Rob, Lucas, and the entire Good Guys Supply crew for backing the podcast. Now back to the episode.
we never ripped the guys off. We done good tattoos on them, and within the first day, because a few shops they go to, they'd overcharge them, rush the work. We just treated it like these are just our normal customers, and let's do the right thing.
Yeah.
So we would work literally from 10 a.m. till around about 2 a.m. for 4 or 5 days straight.
Yeah, holy. That's crazy.
And it was good, and they were good guys, you know, like the US Navy, well, not in the Navy, I suppose they're military, but low-level criminals over there are given an opportunity. They can go to jail or they can join the military. So a lot of these guys, back in those days, I suppose they come from street, you know, like bad LA areas and stuff like that. They're given another chance in life. They go in there, they get a really good trade, they get to travel the world,
Yes.
they go out with a university or college, I think they call it, a college a subsidy type thing,
Yes.
scholarship.
Well, it's definitely more preferable than going to jail.
Yeah.
And they get to it. They learn some morals and some values, and they travel well to come here and get tattooed. And over those years, it's crazy because we got to tattoo second generation military people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unreal. And they were both, it's like my dad got tattooed by you back in so and so, and I'm getting tattooed by you today.
Yeah, that's right.
It's unreal.
It was
It is
great.
unreal. Yeah,
It's such
incredible.
a legacy.
It is a legacy.
Yeah.
I can remember a funny story. I tattooed, I think it was Desert Storm. I can't remember the year, but it was Desert Storm across the top in the year, and a old sailing ship, and then underneath US Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And I tattooed, I had a guy working with me at the time named Bob Miller, another real old school tattooist.
Mm-hmm. One sec, keep going. Sorry, I'm just going to put a new SD card in. Sorry.
Want to keep talking or not?
Yeah, you can keep talking. We'll edit the video anyway.
Anyhow, I tattooed this guy, I can't remember, it was in them days, 150, 200 bucks or something. And they gave me a $50 tip.
Really?
Bob, which was common with the Yanks. Anyhow,
Yeah.
Bob Miller done exactly this. He used my stencil, so he done exactly the same thing on his guy. But when I did my tattoo, he didn't have US Navy on the stencil. The American said, "Can you do that?" halfway through the job, so I just penned it on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, Bob Miller done the same job, and his guy was reluctant to pay him full price even, and he walked out the shop. In them days, as you guys probably remember, all our photographs were done with a film.
Mm.
So I took a photo of his and I took a photo of mine, as we did with most of our work in those days. Waited about a week or 10 days till we went to the photo place.
Yep.
Come back and I said, "Hey, Bob, I know why American didn't give you a tip." And he said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because Navy is spelt Navy, not Navey.
Oh, no.
But funnily enough, around about 18 months later, the same guy, Bob was no longer with me, by the way.
Okay.
That's
But
good.
the same guy come back in the shop and he said, "Remember me?" I says, "Yeah, I do remember you, mate. You know, what can we do for you?" He said, "Can you fix this up?" And I said, "Sure, we can." I did it for nothing. So
That's nice.
And that got us a lot of work from that ship. So it was all good. You know, they were good guys, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. 100%. You got to look after people. Yeah.
Yeah, we Cairns has got a big Navy base, so we'll have a lot of the guys from the US Navy come into Cairns, and they are good people.
And milky white skin,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful for color tattoos. They're very open minded with what they get tattooed as well.
fit, good diet, everything like that. So you're all very healthy.
Yeah.
Easy to tattoo, good guys.
Yeah.
Very good.
And there's a few young women as well, but not many. It was mainly male orientated. We're going back 20 years probably.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's good. We get a lot of Navy personnel and a lot of female sailors as well. And not just the Yanks, but also Canadians as well. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've never got them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Mainly Americans.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, from West Australia, like it's
It's a long way to go.
it would be.
Afghanistan, the Iran, Iraq, all those wars, they come here and have a break on the way back. And then they went from here to Hawaii and wherever they went to.
Yeah.
Sure.
100%.
Yep. Because
Yeah. No, it's cool. Bloody yeah, it's nice being walking around in the shop, like looking at all the vintage flash on the walls. It's so inspiring. All done in like color pencil as well.
Some's painted.
Yeah.
But a lot of colour pencil.
Yeah, I feel like that was like the style at the time. It was really bright.
And we still work off a lot of that stuff. A lot of that stuff's really cool. I mean, and you guys probably know too. I remember the tribal era.
yes.
Some of this flash, and I think it's still great. You couldn't give it away,
Yeah.
Okay.
which is probably why David Llewellyn wanted to throw it in the bin, because
Yeah.
you couldn't give it away, but someone would get a squiggle on their arm for $250.
Sure. It's
That's
interesting,
crazy.
eh?
Thank God tribal's gone.
Well, it's full circle stuff because there's a lot of like younger people now doing tribal, but like
They're getting like Bornean tribal and stuff. It's like
there's Bornean tribal, but there's that like that real hard sharp with like, and they shade it like it's like made of metal, like
yeah.
the fine line stuff.
There's
Like,
a name for it, cyber something or other.
cyber sigilism or whatever it is.
yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
interesting like the trends of tattooing.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Celtic was a big thing in the 80s. Used to
Yeah.
drive us around the bend too, like
Yeah.
Celtic armbands. So how do you join them?
All the knot work and shit. Oh,
How
it'd
do
be
you
a-
join them?
A nightmare.
Yeah.
With great difficulty.
Oh.
Yeah, it's it. It takes hours and I'm sure lots of practice.
Well,
Yeah.
Kiwi Kim from Sydney, I think she was the queen of
Oh,
Celtic
really?
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
really?
done amazing stuff.
Yeah, she's currently out in the Blue Mountains. I think she's retired now. I don't think she's tattooing anymore.
But she
Yeah.
did really, really nice Celtic work back in those days.
Yeah.
I think she worked for Tony Cohen at the time.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna hopefully we're gonna go to Sydney in November to do the Iron Gate, and I'm gonna hopefully talk to Tony Cohen on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're not expecting him to talk to us, but I would like to ask him in person.
Well, he must be close to 80 years old now, I would think.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's getting up there.
And he, like myself, still tattooing.
Yeah. Good on him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's really, really cool. Like, yeah, it's nice to see you older tattooers like still ripping it and still hanging in the shop and tattooing all the time. Like,
Yeah.
we went and talked to Pete Davidson as well, and he's still tattooing, still painting flash. And
Pete worked in Western Australia in the 70s.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he used to tattoo Ricky Luda back before he was tattooing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think they worked together at one stage, and the Farrow brothers,
Yes.
Bobby, Johnny Farrow, they both worked over here. But Bobby Farrow passed away over here.
Okay.
Wild. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Like how kind of interlinked it is, all that history.
Yeah.
All these tattooers that we've spoken to, they all know each other in one way or another.
I think that's what, made it so special. The fact that it was a community
Yeah.
with like the older guys, and all the older guys knew each other, and you kind of needed to know someone to get into it,
Yeah, 100%. It was a lot
wasn't-
more regulated as well.
Totally regulated. Everything, supplies, everything. Everything was regulated by the tattooers.
Yeah, the PTAA and
Which was why you needed to know other guys, because one guy would have, we had powder colours in those days, which is what the modern colours still are, they're just pre-mixed, but
yep.
that one guy would have the best blue, and one guy would have the best yellow, one guy would have the best source for needles.
Yeah.
We weren't even using stainless needles. Most of the needles we got were from Sheffield in England,
Okay.
beading needles they were.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we used to swap stuff around, and that's how you got to meet guys, and they either respected you or they didn't respect you, but you had to earn your keep, basically.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I heard Wally Hammond had really good colours.
The best yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone was trying to get his secrets.
I was just in at King Street Tattoo in Newtown, and Duncan, who owns King Street, has like a bit of a museum in his shop, and he's got this big bottle of Wally Hammond orange.
Yeah.
Just the powder.
No, it'd be fine as
unreal.
anything.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
It's crazy.
you know. And it's still super solid. Like our friend, was it Mickey has it in his
Yeah.
leg?
Mickey has some, Mickey McLeod.
He has it in his tattoo, and it's bright as anything. It's
Yeah.
super old and rad.
It's crazy. Because, Pete was telling us about it. And he had like a friend who was like a chemist or something. And that's how he got the good colours, apparently.
Yeah. And everyone was looking for his color chart numbers and whatnot for the inks and the dyes.
Les Pridham from South Australia had it, and Les Bowen from
Yes.
up your way had it,
Yeah,
Yes.
Townsville.
and Wally Hammond, and to my knowledge, no one else had those numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah, they would have kept them pretty close to their chest.
100%.
Yeah, that was their edge on tattooing. And then there was colours that they wouldn't share with you. Like when Keith Martin originally come back from Dutchies in Sydney, I had cards in those days, and I think on my card it said 6 bright colours.
Okay.
But Keith come here, he had magenta,
Oh,
which
really?
he probably would have got from Wally Hammond, I would say.
Okay.
No one else in Western Australia had magenta.
Yeah.
So
That
he
would have been
used,
his
he, used,
edge.
he used to put that in his tattoos, and that was a big edge because the public think, fuck, look at that colour. I've never seen that before. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Holy.
Yeah. Put that into the the cherry blossoms and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's going to blow everyone's mind.
Well, he used to do swallows and stuff with a magenta and a very pale orange belly instead of the red and yellow type thing, and it used to look pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
Man.
It's crazy. And now, like, we have all those colors available to us, and I feel like maybe people take it for granted, or there's like a return. Like myself with my tattooing, I only use 3 colors.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the more minimal stuff. It's
That's
interesting.
exactly it.
Yeah,
It
my colour palette is still very traditional based, even for Japanese work, because you don't need. Some colours just don't work with those style of jobs, in my opinion.
Yes.
I could be wrong, but that's how I look at it. But now you can get 300 reds,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you'll get a customer saying, "Oh, you want a blue?" and you're showing them 20 blues that you've got. Oh no, you haven't got the right one. You think,
The right shade.
Have you got one in between these two? No.
we get their requests. I think Luke out there, who you met obviously,
Yes.
he's got his secret little bottle. He calls it Granny Smith Green,
Yeah.
and he's
Okay.
mixed some. What is it? What's the English colour we use? Dermaglow.
Ah, yeah.
Ooh.
He's mixed a cup of some yellow and some green together, and he's come up with his own special green. But he guards that little that bottle on with his life, I think.
Yeah. He's got his secret.
Granny Smith Green.
Yeah, I like the color, the name as well.
It does. It sounds nice. It
Yeah,
sounds
some
really good.
He's
Alliteration.
labelled the bottle.
Yeah.
Has he?
Hell yeah. That's cool.
On Instagram at Painless Luke.
Yep.
Follow him. Check him out, and check out his tats. They rip too.
Unreal.
Man, yeah, it's crazy. Like back in the day, where these things were so secretive and like kept close. It's a wonder that that there was like I guess it made it way more special when there was a bit of progression.
It wasn't always positive. I can remember Bob Thornton had some red. I used to get beading needles from John Williams in England, Tattoo Club of Great Britain. So Bob would get his needles off me, I'd get my red off him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went down to see him, got some red, done some tattoos, and their arms blew up like balloons.
Oh no.
I thought, this is fucking no good. So I went back down and see Bob. I said, hey, Bob, that fucking red I got off you, it's crap. I've had this problem, blah, blah, blah. I said, it's a photoallergic reaction and blah, blah, blah. He said, but the good news is I've got some new red. I said, cool. The same fucking red one.
He gave you another bottle of the same red. That's unreal.
Oh, unreal. That's crazy. It's it's interesting, like the kind of gatekeeping that was around back then. It was a lot more, held close to the chest, which is, I guess, one of the main reasons why we do this podcast now, because all those stories, haven't been told to anyone.
But it was, everyone in every state, I can't speak for other states, but you had your friends and your foes within the industry.
Yeah.
But even your foes, you had some sort of professional respect for. If someone was going to try and move in on their turf, you would help them.
Yeah.
Because literally gatekeeping was a massive thing in the old days, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's crazy. Bloody, I'd like to see like a bit of a return to formula. Not so much of like, I guess, the negative sides of gatekeeping and stuff like that, but I would like to see stuff back in the hands of tattooers again.
I think that's absolutely 100% has to happen. Otherwise, the industry will just be fucking gone forever.
Yeah.
We've got, it's not pertaining just to Western Australia. We've got it all over the world now.
Yeah.
There's what I call apprentice factories.
Mm-hmm.
There's an apprentice or a non-tattooer. They open a shop, they advertise, they try and poach everyone's workers, but they end up with a bunch of apprentices.
Yeah.
As an example, a friend of Painless Luke's got a job at one of these shops, I won't name them.
Yeah.
About a month or 6 weeks ago, he's quitting now. 2 weeks he was there and they said, we want you on the machines next week.
Oh, no way. Holy.
And there's 10 other apprentices in this shop. So they undercut us, they do this, they do a lot of damage, they don't know anything about cross-contamination or health control.
Yeah.
And it's fucking the industry.
Yeah.
And we're like any other business. We pay big rents, big insurances, big this, big that.
Yeah.
You've got to break even at least to be in the business. So from the positive of the weekend's show, I've met some old friends I hadn't seen for years over East. And a few of us spoke, including Angus, who's done a great job organising the show. Yeah. We're going to do our best to get the Professional Tattooing Association of Australia up and running and to become a force to be reckoned with in WA again.
I'd like to see that.
As we speak. So
yeah,
it should be, that's a very positive thing, I think, to come out of the weekend.
100%. I'd love to see that kind of renewed and, back in power again.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
The tattooers taking back what is rightfully ours.
And it's not a matter of standing over anyone, it's just a matter of communication.
Yeah.
Yes.
Having a beer or dinner or a coffee or something together once a month or 6 weeks, communicating, doing things like we said earlier about swapping needles and colours and bits and pieces. Maybe not that, but knowledge.
Yeah.
Information.
Yeah.
Look after each other's little patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is important.
Yeah, keeping the industry alive and strong and not so kind of separated. It's so interesting with the rise of social media these days that we've got access to be able to see everyone's work and talk to everyone, but we couldn't be more alone in a lot of ways.
Well, that's right. You get these young ladies flash their boobs for 10 photos and then put a tattoo up for one.
Yeah.
And you look on the Instagram, they've got 200,000 followers and you think, fucking hell.
It's crazy.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you bring up that because, yeah, there are there's definitely that sort of potentially in the industry as well. Like people can sell sex, which can then also like lead into work with their tattoos.
And I'm not being sexist when I make that comment. It's just an observation.
No, I agree. And I don't think it is sexist at all. But it feels like it takes away from the tattooing. Like the tattooing is so important and the tattooing is so sacred that it's kind of like it just seems a bit cheap. It cheapens the tattoo experience. Like I don't know. Anyway, I personally think that tattooing and sex should be separate.
Yeah. And goes to for other things. Some tattooers come in, they think you've got to fit an image. Well, there is no image.
No.
At the end, I've been tattooing for a long time, but I'm just a person like anyone else. I'm nothing special.
Yeah.
So.
Whoa, mate.
But
you are something special.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it anyhow. So
I know.
You know?
Fitting the image. The tattoo is the image. That's all you got to worry about.
I agree.
And the customer's got to be happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. Like you were telling me the other night, without the customer,
We're nothing.
we're nothing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you want to make it a good experience for them, not just in the quality of their work, but how you treat them as a person when they're in there, and whether they're from a dark side of the community or from the gay community or anywhere in between. You've got to treat all those people with respect and do your best to give them a good tattoo.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything to be nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
And then you get assholes when you throw them out.
Yeah. Respect begets respect, I think.
Can we bring that up? Can we bring that up? Being thrown out of the tattoo shop or down the stairs potentially, or do you not want to talk about that?
Well, you can talk about it. I developed a technique because this guy came in here once, and it happened several times, but a guy came in here. I was a bit younger then, so it wasn't so bad, but he came in here. I think we were busy. I was working where Sunny's Bay is now. He had a bottle of beer in his hand, which was those large bottles they used to sell, the 26-ounce King Browns we call them over here. I don't know what they're called. Queensland.
Yeah.
Swilling around, staggering everywhere, and anyway, I said he wanted to get tattooed, and he was mouthing off, and I said, mate, you're not fucking getting tattooed. I'm busy. We're going home after this. Blah blah blah. And he got a bit agitated, so I stood up, and he took a swing at me with this beer bottle near the front door there, which worked out good actually because it was nearly full of beer. So the beer went all over his hand, and he missed me. And I grabbed the beer bottle, which slid out of his hand with ease. And I thought, well, that was a good thing. Then I give him a bit of a tap on the jaw, grabbed him and frog marched him backwards to the stairs and threw him down the stairs, which I'd done before. But he didn't hit the landing. He went past there and he went down the bottom and he broke his leg.
Oh, no way.
And he broke a sheet of asbestos down there, which is still broken to this day. I'll show you guys later.
Holy.
And I said, fuck off. And anyhow, he yelled out, you've broken my leg, you've broken my leg. And I said, if you don't, fuck off, mate. I'll come down there and break your fucking neck. But but anyhow, I didn't really pay much, but I had broken his leg, so I thought, shit, I better go down there. And so I went down to the first landing and said, mate, just sit there. I said, it's over. Sit there. I'm going to call an ambulance because it was a pretty bad break. But
Oh, well, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
And then I said to him, this is the deal. I said, I've got an ambulance coming. I've got one of the crew to ring an ambulance. I said, if you fucking dob me into the cops, I said, I'm going to find you and I'll break your other fucking leg.
Yeah.
Which he didn't. And then I went back up to the crew and I said, right, we've got to develop a system here. I said, they need to hit the first landing. If you
They can't go all the way down.
No.
Anyhow, so that's one of many stories. But
That's crazy.
he didn't report it to the police. He told the ambulance guys when they were there that he'd fallen down the stairs, which I thought was a different era, and the people were different. It was good. You know, he knew he'd fucked up, and
Yeah.
I sort of knew I'd fucked up a bit too.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This season of Rats Get Fat is brought to you by the Tattoo Flash, a 35mm disposable camera made for tattooers by a tattooer. Born from the minds of studio owners and lifelong friends Jake Straat and Aaron Etham, the Tattoo Flash blends old-school tattoo culture with the timeless feel of film photography. Whether you're snapping shots in black and white or color, Every frame captures real moments with raw nostalgia. In a world full of digital noise, the tattoo flash is a throwback to something real, grainy, unpredictable, and full of soul. It's not just a film camera, it's a time capsule. Pick one up, shoot a roll, and relive the magic. Visit thetattooFlash.com to grab yours today. Huge thanks to the Tattoo Flash for supporting the show. Now, back to the episode.
Yeah, but it was back in the day that, you know, like, it's interesting because nowadays people come into tattoo shops and, like, you know, they expect, you know, they are like mouthy or, you know, they come in with attitude. But back in the day, you know, if you did have that, you know, you would get thrown down the stairs or thrown out or physically dealt with.
Yeah, but you still had to fuck up pretty bad for it to get to the. I mean, he took a swing at me.
He swung first, 100%.
And I didn't. Well, he'd break his leg, I suppose. But anyway, never mind.
Yeah, you didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, I think. It comes down to self-defense at the end of the day. But you know what I mean. Yeah, it takes a lot to. But swing up.
Generally speaking, yeah, most of the customers are good. This is the downside of Northbridge. It used to be the red light district of Perth, and we get a lot of junkies. There's a methadone clinic down the road.
Yep.
The upside of being upstairs is they can't be bothered walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
So we get very little bad people up here. We get the occasional one, but we generally deal with them and we try and do it in a non-confronting way as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting because Perth has got a lot of that
I
where...
think everywhere's got a lot of it now. I think that ice stuff has ruined the world.
Yeah.
The whole generation of people have been fucked up by such a terrible drug.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's really it's really messed up. You know, we've seen. I was out clubbing in Northbridge here last time I was around, and my friend Adam ended up walking home by himself, and he got rolled, and his wallet and his phone and his shoes got stolen by.
It's crazy, yeah.
It is crazy, but I could only imagine the stories this place has. You know, where the crazy shit that's happened in here.
Yeah, well, there's a few, but we'll keep them.
Yeah,
for another time.
Yep, mum's the word.
No, it's cool. We get a little bit of that up in Cairns. I don't know. I think they're a bit more chilled out up there. It's too hot.
Yeah, it saps them of energy.
Yeah.
So they're not as
they're not
energetic.
As lively.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, they were good people that come to the shop, though.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. It was like at the convention. Most of the people that were walking around, all the clientele, they were all super lovely.
We
really
had
nice people.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a convention for some time because I got sick of it. The other expo here, in my opinion, they've tried to make it just become a pure money grab.
Yeah.
It's commercial.
So I stopped going to conventions, and Angus had come up with a concept. He come and seen me. Adam from the industry got right behind him.
Yes.
As others did. I was approached about, as others were, no doubt, approached about, will we support this? And I thought, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's been some positive things because, as you say, I think both artists and the public on the weekend, it was a real chilled, good, positive atmosphere.
Yeah. No, it was really, really nice. It's probably my favorite convention I've worked, I think.
And it wasn't huge number-wise, was it? It was quite intimate, really.
I think that's better sometimes, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
And the venue was just amazing.
Oh,
you know?
Unreal.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was like tattooing. It felt like we were maybe doing something wrong, tattooing in such a beautiful building. We're just like, oh my God, like they shouldn't let us in here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, what we're doing here is pretty special, though.
Yeah.
It is
Very special. I walked in there. I was just blown away by the whole setup and the atmosphere and everything. It's like, wow.
And the organ?
And the work.
Yeah.
I mean, the spectrum of work, it from the guy that was a compere there got a little fine line squiggle thing that I call him, but
yeah.
so you've got from that end of the scale to full bodysuit, ultra realism, God knows what they call it these days, and everything in between. So it was all covered, and the public got to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was asked to judge a couple of categories, and on the Friday night, I think it was Tattoo of the Day, there was myself, Fuka from Sydney,
Yes.
and Dan Malloy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're all experienced tattooists, and we got up there. Now, and I've done this before, but in my experience, say you've got 20 people that are in a category, and you guys have probably done a similar thing.
Yes.
You've got 20 people with good tattoos. Then out of that 20, you've got 10 people with really good tattoos.
Yes.
Then out of that 10, you've got 5 people with fucking great tattoos.
Okay.
So judging, you can usually eliminate the 10 that have got the good tattoos. You eliminate the other 5 that have got very good tattoos, and you're down to 4 or 5 to pick from that are outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and Dan Malloy, as you know, I mean, he's an amazing tattooer. In any style, anything he touches, it's amazing.
Okay.
And a very nice guy. Him and I and Puka were talking. Dan said his exact words to me, you could fucking toss a coin, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It was really hard. We actually had to get down on our hands and knees and look at some of these jobs and actually judge them then on technical things like the line work or placement or subject matter or how it balanced, because they were that good you couldn't disparage, you couldn't separate 4 or 5 of them.
It's crazy the quality of tattoos that are going out these days.
And it was unreal. And then I'd done a few on Saturday too, and I said to Angus, I don't do it anymore, it's too hard.
Can I go back to my booth now?
Yeah, it would be a tricky job having to judge some of those.
Yes.
Yeah, plus, and I asked Angus, which he did on the Friday night, and with Dan and Buka, but I said, can you please tell the public before you do the presentations that this was a really, really difficult job, because they said people will be disappointed because all of them have fucking great tattoos.
Yes.
So he did that, and that was a good thing,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah.
It would suck for some people, like, oh, is mine not good enough or something like that?
They
But
were great.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so hard judging something like tattoos or art. It's all kind of subjective at the end of the day.
But on the other side of that, now every expo that we go to, we'll get involved and enter things into the competitions, but not per se just to win an award or whatever. And there's no expectation to win the award, but it's just to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's an expose or to put yourself out there or so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I enjoy extending the process of the competition with my own work and like having it up there and being a part of it. That's all it's important. I don't expect anything. I don't expect to win. I don't expect nothing other than, oh, look, it's amongst all that other beautiful work. And then a judge will come and look at it and say, like, whatever, if you place or win or something, then that's so sick.
Yeah, exactly. I've told my guys over the years, I'll give you an example. You've got 5 trad artists and you've got 5 customers. They all want the same eagle.
Yes.
So the 5 artists will do that trad eagle a little different than each other. Every one of them will probably be good, but it'll have something of that person or that artist involved in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what I noticed on the weekend. With it was colour realism or some of these other things that are not my forte, but I was asked to judge.
Yeah.
Is you could see that each artist had their own concept or a way they would construct something, or colour it, or the palette of colour, or black, which I'm a fan of, or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different flavors of the same thing.
And all great.
Yeah.
All great. I saw so many incredible tattoos up there. It was so nice to see. But I couldn't even imagine the responsibility of judging it. And it's a big deal,
It was scary.
Yeah. I could only imagine. It would be scary.
No, it's crazy, like the kind of human element of art. I think it's a super important thing. We all have our own techniques and styles and our own inspirations that we put a lot of ourselves into our tattoos, and that's what you get out of it.
That's what makes tattooing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting with the rise of AI art and stuff like that, how that might affect tattooing in the future.
Yes.
I haven't got into that yet, but no doubt we'll have to, I suppose.
Well,
Crazy, eh?
I'd like to talk about the iPad because Noel, now you've been tattooing a very long time. You have you've currently got the oldest tattoo shop in the whole of Perth, and you are very prevalent on the iPad. You make iPad art, you make tattoo flash on the iPad,
Yes.
and you're very relevant and current today. It's insane.
Well, you have to. You've got to keep up.
How did you get into the iPad stuff? Because a lot of the other older guys that we know and talk to, it's not even a thing. It's not even a blip on their radar.
I approached it like a piece of paper and a pencil. So, long story short, Kenny Anderson and Carlin the chef, Sonny's partner, they both worked here for several years. When this iPad thing come out, and they pissed off down to an Apple store, which is about 300 metres away, come back, and they've come back with these iPad things. And they're showing me, and I'm like, what the fuck's that? And he said, this is the latest thing, this is what you got to draw on. And I was watching them, and they're making circles and doing...
Yeah.
I thought, fucking hell, this is going to be fucking easy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It's not easy to learn, but once you get the hang of it, it's like so good.
They all
Yeah,
have
so,
their own-
so in the end, I just selected the pencil, brush or whatever it is, HB,
Yeah.
and did it in red, which I used to do a lot of my preliminary drawings with. In those days, as you know, I don't know about you guys, but I used to do a lot of overlays. I'd
Yep.
build something up over a course of 5 or 6 layers.
Yes.
So I just mentally thought, well, this is what this is fucking doing. It's just electronic,
Yeah.
and it's not, a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It took me a while, but I got my hang of it.
Yeah. I approach it in the same way.
Yeah.
Red pencil and all. You just
Yeah.
layer it. It's really, really useful like that.
I do red, blue, black.
Beautiful.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same actually.
Wow. I for the video at home, I'll find some of Noel's iPad stuff on his Instagram, and I'll put it up on the video so everyone can see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wonderful.
It's not as good as a painting. Still, it looks they look acceptable, but
Yeah.
you can't beat a hand painted piece
Yeah.
of tattoo art.
We always
No.
talk about that. We were talking about it yesterday, actually, funnily enough. Just the difference between electronic art and hand painted. You can always tell, no matter how hard you try to make it look like, hand painted, and you put in little imperfections, you always tell it's digital.
Well, big imperfections sometimes.
Yeah.
You sit there for 3 hours painting a watercolour rose or something, and then spill your coffee on it and smudge shit everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the important side of it, those little imperfections.
But the boys here, they paint every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've
so
got a
good.
painting room.
Yeah, it's incredible the size of this place.
Yeah.
Because when you showed us, when we first came up, and you showed us the original workspace, and then it's just been extended, which is incredible.
220 square metres, I think we are.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
really, really cool though. It's like a big maze in here.
Old school. We keep it old school. I've thought about remodelling from times, but everyone says the customers, they like it because
Yeah.
it's historic.
100%.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said before, the buildings from like 1890 something.
Yeah, 1994.
It's been here since 1894. So, like it is historic. It's older than all of us, and it will continue to be. It will outlive us all.
Yeah, well, hopefully my son will take it over one day, and then my granddaughter another day or something like that.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
But
that's
it's
it.
not what you guys remember it too. The era of flat screen TVs and crystal chandeliers in tattoo shops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do look great at the time. I'm not being derogatory or anything. I thought this is just all bullshit. It doesn't even look like a tattoo shop. So
Well, yeah.
we
Yeah.
decided to stay old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it can. Yeah, a lot of people are trying to sort of polish the turd that tattooing is, and I don't know. I think the turd's all right.
Yeah.
We haven't got no polish here because everything you see is genuine and real.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, it's exactly it. There's like authenticity
Yeah.
in every which way you look.
Yeah. Warts and all. It's sick.
Yeah, it is sick.
Yeah. We try to kind of capture that vibe as well with our shop. It's completely crushed in flash, and we try to make it look as old school as possible. But I don't know. There's something about this place. It's just got that atmosphere.
Well, it's a working tattoo shop, but it's also got maybe some museum qualities. We've got a lot of old stuff here and old
Yes.
machines and a lot of history.
Yeah.
There is a lot of history. There's flash sheets from
60s, 50s.
it's
They're
incredible.
not mine, but they're stuff I've collected over the years.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
and we put them up on display so they're not hidden in a cupboard somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's meant to be appreciated, you know?
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's unreal.
It's really important.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm keen to come back to Perth and come and check this out again. And
Yeah,
yeah,
do a little guest spot.
Come and do a guest spot here, guys.
I'd love to. I'd
Yeah.
love to.
It would be really it would be an honor to work here for you
Yeah.
and under you, and
With me.
yeah,
Yeah.
to
100%.
maybe learn a few things. I'll learn how to rip tats as
Yes.
Maybe you can develop a technique of stair throwing or something.
Yeah.
stair throwing. Yeah, I'll have to practice.
Yeah.
Got to
That's
hit the
awesome.
first landing, otherwise they hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the goal.
It was interesting before watching you tattoo. I felt that you had like a really incredible whip shade technique. That I took a little bit of a video, and I'll put it sort of in the video for everyone watching, so you can see what I'm talking about. But it looks fascinating and super clean, really well read. Like,
Yeah.
have you been? I don't know. I guess you perfected it over your lifetime, right?
No idea how I done it. That's just how I tattoo, I suppose. But-
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the old school wipe as well, wrapping the paper towel around the
but
bottom two fingers.
Most of my knowledge from tattooing come from Bob Thornton.
Yep.
Yes.
He was amazing. He's got much more. He's passed away now, unfortunately, but he had much more history than I've got. And he was the freehand king. I think I showed you the other night some stuff on my arm that he just tattooed on there with no pen, no biro, no nothing.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah, Bobby Thornton.
And he taught me how to hold a paper towel and those things. He used to run his machines a bit like that. He used Cindy Ray machines in the early days,
Yep.
Okay.
which are probably weigh about 10 kilos or something.
Yeah. Holy.
Yeah. AC?
No, he's always DC.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Keith Martin and Dutchy were AC.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because we were talking about that a little bit the other night as well. Because when we were talking to Mo, he said that, yeah, when Dutchy tattooed you, you stayed tattooed
Yeah.
no matter what you did.
AC had, I think Pete Davidson tattooed, John Poole, I think they tattooed with AC for a time, but with I've never tattooed with Keith used to when I used to work here with him. AC generates heat. So the old joke was if you tattooed with an AC machine, you had to work with an asbestos glove.
Yeah. Holy.
But we didn't wear gloves in those days.
Sure.
Oh yeah. True. Yeah.
How was that coming into tattooing without gloves for so long and then like suddenly that was having to be brought in? Like, was that a welcome thing or was that people not, you guys weren't stoked about it?
No one was happy about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not being anti-health or anything. Tattooing without gloves is way better.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Only because I've done it and I know how you can feel when the person gets clammy or hot. Your hand will travel on their skin better or blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But I could never do it now.
Yeah.
Even if you were allowed to, I couldn't do it now.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think I was one of the first in this state to wear gloves. Keith, who worked with together here, I didn't own the shop then. He wouldn't wear gloves, but then I said, fucking hell, Keith, we've got to do this, mate. We've got to both look the same. So he started wearing one glove.
Oh really?
What, just on his
And then I nicknamed him.
stretching hand?
No, on his tattooing hand. So
Yeah,
I said, what are you going to call yourself, Michael Jackson or something?
I was about to say just like Michael.
But, it's crazy because in those days single needle use needles weren't a thing.
Yeah.
Some guys used pots of colour, the same colour and black all day.
Yeah.
We smoked while we were tattooing.
Yes.
You went home and you ate your dinner or your lunch or your sandwich or whatever with black and crap and shit all over your hands.
Yeah.
It was a different era.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
crazy.
But none of us knew that we were doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
No.
And then we had all our little tricks. I think I told you the other night, Jake. My wife went and bought me a crock pot, those slow cookers.
Yes.
And I put it in the shop and I put 3 tablespoons of Dettol in it and water, put it on simmer every morning.
Okay.
And people would walk in the shop and think, damn, this place smells like a hospital.
Yeah.
It must be good.
Because the slow cooker was simmering and
Yeah.
just the smell from it.
Just the vapour. It generated the Dettol-based vapour for the entire working day.
Yeah. Holy.
Oh,
Makes
guys.
it smell super nice and clean. Like,
Well, I'm gonna adopt that in our shop.
get the crock pot going.
Yeah, I need a new slow cooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the only one that did it. It's just what we did. Every little trick in the book, because you'd go in someone's shop and you think, what's that smell? How'd they do that? And then you'd have to find out what they were
Yeah.
doing, because their shop smells better than your shop.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Oh, gnarly.
Yeah, it's interesting. The smell of Dettol, when you walk into a studio, it just hits you like a brick.
Yeah, I
can't-
love that smell.
You can't beat the smell of an old school tattoo shop, and you can't beat the sound of coils when you walk in and people are using coil machines. So I get it that it doesn't happen so much anymore, but to me it's magnificent.
Yeah.
It is magnificent.
Yeah. It smells like Dettol and green soap,
Yes. A killer combo.
Oh, so good.
And the sound of coils are just, it's magic. I love when like multiple people are tattooing and the sound dances.
It's like music,
yeah, they
Yeah.
harmonize.
Yeah, you can hear them harmonizing. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
especially if they're well tuned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's always nice, like hearing it faintly outside a shop, and you're like, oh yeah. You open the door and you hit with music and like coils and the smell. It's like, what's going on here?
Well, everyone in this shop uses coils.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've
Yeah,
noticed
they do.
that. It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
There's a couple of the guys that got rotaries and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with rotaries. I mean, they were around for as long as coils were, but we just,
Yeah.
that's what we do, and we feed off each other. We help each other with tuning and information and
Yes.
so forth and so forth.
Yeah. It's really
Unreal.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'd love to get back into coils a little bit more and then come and do a guest spot and pick your brain about it. And
Yeah.
I think they've got their place. They've also got their weaknesses. I mean, jumping back to that judging and stuff at the show, I think some of that ultra photorealistic colour realism that is done, not just in Perth, throughout the world these days, would not be achievable with a core machine.
Okay.
They run those pens, as soft as a fairy's fart, basically.
Yes.
and they build them up, don't they? You've got 10 passes. Imagine doing 10 passes on one little tiny section of colour with a coil.
you'd be mangled.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of it is like it's all layering,
Yeah.
and it's gently put in there, and then it's healed, and then they've come back, and then it's hit again. And
Yeah, they'll fade one colour from one shade of blue to half a shade different of blue and so forth. Like, I haven't got the patience for fuck that. I'm just going to do an Eagles and black shading in it and red, brown, yellow.
sick.
Yeah, exactly. Simple.
Speaking my language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
nice.
it's interesting though, like having someone doing other shit, it provides contrast, and I feel like it makes what we do more special because not everyone's doing it.
And you've got to show them respect because, like I said, you're walking around the show, I stopped and chatted to a lot of artists and stuff, and I'm looking and thinking, fuck, that is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, legends, it's the Rats Get Fat podcast, and we've got some exciting news. Our brand new merch store is officially live. We've loaded it up with heaps of killer products, all handmade with love, and ready for you to rep the show in style. Every purchase goes a long way in supporting the podcast, and we honestly can't thank you enough for the support you've already shown us. We're kicking off the new season with some awesome gear we know you'll love, so jump on it now. The link's in our bio. Go check it out, grab your favorites, and keep the Rats Get Fat family rolling. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess there are some old school tattooers that will look down their nose at people doing different styles and stuff, but it is nice to kind of appreciate it, even if it's not your cup of tea personally. It's nice to appreciate the kind of work that goes into stuff like that as well.
Well, I remember back to the 80s, Jack Rudy from Anaheim in America, he came up with this concept, just the pre-Chicano stuff, but he came up with this concept, we're going to use single needle outlines.
Oh, yeah?
So for several years, myself and many other artists here tattooed with single needle outlines and a 7-round shoulder. That was our
Wild.
our tool bag. And would I do a tattoo with a single needle outline now? I don't think I could see it, but I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
but you had to develop them. We did all that with coils. You had machine had to run at around about 140 hertz and run perfectly because Bob Thornton told me, he said, the problem with single needle, Noel, it either falls out or it blows out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be perfect or not at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was hard work. But Jack Rudy, as you guys have no doubt know, he built his whole career on that pre-Chicano style with, single needle hair and all those ladies' faces he used to do. And that became a big thing in Perth and probably in Queensland and New South Wales as well.
Yes.
Yep.
All of a sudden it dropped off, which was great. We went back to 3s, 5s, 7s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I was telling you the other, I think I was maybe saying the other day, I went and stayed with my cousin in Sydney, like after the Sydney Expo. And my cousin wanted this little chili that was about half the size of your pinky fingernail. She said, I just want this little tiny chili. I said, I just don't even own a needle that could do that. I'm
No.
so sorry. I said, we could do like a little cool little chili on you, but it wouldn't be anywhere like as big as you're expecting. It'd be
Yeah, and your concept would still look good in 20 years' time.
Yeah.
100%. It's interesting though because, yeah, like Jack Rudy potentially, I wonder if he ever did have backlash from other tattooers back then where they're like, it doesn't last and all this stuff. But Jack Rudy was able to kind of like pull it off and like really do it well.
You did it amazing, but I suppose that brings you to the fact that tattooing is circular. Because now we're back in the era of a lot of young ladies and that getting little tiny squiggles, all done with single needle or super tight 3s and stuff like that. Well, and we're all saying, pretty you guys, it won't last. It won't last.
Yeah.
It won't.
Yes.
We've been there.
Yeah.
All these, everything that happens in tattooing has been done before.
Yes.
Some of those books I was showing you guys out there, you've got photorealism in colour and in black and black. That was done in the 20s.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
yes.
really cool and really good.
Yeah.
So it's been done before.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all cyclical.
Maybe not to the standard that it's done these days, but it's been done before.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, 100%. It's really, really interesting. I wonder what the next big wave and big trend will be.
Well, it is. Yeah. I don't know. It fluctuates, right?
Yeah.
I remember, 10 years ago, everyone, and I legitimately, probably paid for half my house with these. The single line wave.
Oh, yeah.
Every single person brought in the same picture of this one little single line wave. Hey, I just want this on my wrist or my ribs or whatever. And man, I was like, damn.
An infinity symbol.
Oh,
Infinity symbols. That was
Dolphin, butterfly,
dolphin. It was a whole thing.
Hell yeah.
With a little realism line on the finger. Like there is full trends that happen with tattooing. And it's funny because like with traditional tattooing, it seems like it outlasts any trend. It's not. It's actually timeless. A lot of the stuff, like anything on the walls in here, you know what I mean. It doesn't even go anywhere near a trend.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, we've got myself and 4 of my guys here are basically traditional based artists.
Yep.
Every one of them will do it differently,
Yeah.
Yes.
but all good.
Yeah.
So the good thing about traditional is you can change it up without changing it up.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
It really still fits it, eh?
They'll kind of use their own like artistic flair, and you can kind of tell who's done it.
Yeah.
And you're not a Xerox machine.
No.
100%.
No, of course not. It's super fun. It's really, really pure creative freedom, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, we just went up to Darwin and did some tattooing with another 2 trad guys. So
Yeah.
there was a place 4 trad guys in total, but we all did it differently.
Correct.
Yeah.
So like Mickey was doing like New York style, like Smith Street trad. My friend Matt was doing very old kind of classical trad.
Yeah.
Zuzz does sort of similar classical trad, but he's kind of got my influence through his apprenticeship. He kind of learned under me a few years ago.
But you still develop your own style, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And then I've got like kind of like more of a, I guess, neo-traditional or Americana approach to how I do it. So 4 trad guys, but if you asked us all for an eagle, it would all be completely different.
Exactly, and that's a good thing about trad tattooing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can change it up without changing it up.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Like Luke, Painless Luke that you mentioned earlier, he does a lot of Picasso-based
Yeah, really.
tattoos, but in a traditional American style. They're pretty fucking cool, eh?
Yeah.
That
It's
is
cool.
cool.
It like still fits in with like you can have that in amongst all these other trad tattoos on a sleeve and it doesn't feel too out of place.
Abstract art in colour.
Crazy.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so sick.
Yeah. And I love it. It's crazy because I originally didn't get into tattooing to do that kind of style of tattooing. But there's so much appeal about it, about traditional stuff. I don't know.
But you hadn't really been in and around tattoo shops before.
No, not really.
So there wasn't really the education. You hadn't really even seen much tattooing apart from probably what your old stepdad's cousin was doing, Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. Oh, yeah.
You know, that was your standpoint. So then by the time you got into you were deep into art. By the time you'd gotten into your apprenticeship at a trad shop, you know, it was inevitable.
Yeah.
You know, you just succumbed and gave yourself to this sick fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know, I think you can pick your own style, but then a street shop tattooer has to be proficient at everything, but an expert at none.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. 100%.
Owen Williams.
Owen Williams. Sorry.
Not
everyone.
Owen Wilson. Wow.
I'm going to cut that. Wow.
Bloody yeah, I think it's hard. Yeah, if you are like focusing on everything, it's really hard to like properly hone in on the one.
Yeah, we're a street shop here, and we've always been. We've been through the era of what we called it, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. People opening, we're a custom shop, and I thought, what a lot of fucking wank.
Sure.
Because we have always been the same shop, but people are coming. Can you get this? Can I get this? Well, I'll have to draw it up, mate. That's a custom tattoo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether it's an eagle, traditional, or it's a realism, or whatever it is. So they were marketing shop. And then we got the era of private shops. Well, I'm too good to work in a tattoo shop. I've got to work in a secret squirrel place where you've got to have a secret handshake, ring the bell 3 times in a certain sequence, and I'll reply to your Instagram message in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
now we've come full circle, which we talked together about art not long ago. Everyone wants a tattoo shop again.
Yeah.
Well, like we were talking to Ricky, like he sort
Said
of put
the
it.
same thing, yeah.
He put it in the form of like fish and chips.
Yeah.
He goes, if you want to get fish and chips, you don't wait 3 weeks to get fish and chips or make an appointment to get fish and chips in 3 weeks. You go down and you walk in and you get fish and chips now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He said tattooing's the exact same, which is a really rad and real concept.
But a lot of people, and they're not all, some of them are very good people, don't get me wrong, but this book's closed. I think there's Andrew Storts does quite a few, he runs podcasts on that in
Yes.
America, and I enjoy I've pissed myself laughing because
Yes.
that's what it's like. Yes, my books are closed and I'm going to reply to my messages in 6 months and you can have an appointment in 2032.
Yeah.
As long as it's my style.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That's crazy, eh?
Yeah. That's if you get a reply anyway.
Yeah. That's if you're lucky enough.
My office girl will reply to you.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I can't handle the 300 emails I get a day, which is, I get people like, I actually don't laugh to their face, but I go, how do you keep up with your DMs? Oh, it's fucking hard and everything like that. And then you look on some of these Facebook things, and the guy, I won't mention his name, I saw him at the convention on the weekend. He's one of that Books Closed crew.
Yeah.
I said, well, how are you going, so-and-so, with appointments? It's pretty thin on the, as we all did on the weekend, talk about how our individual shops are going in the market and general tattoo stuff. He said, definitely noticed it's quieting down. He said, I was booked out for 3 months before, now I'm only booked out for 2. And then on one of these group Facebook type things that's relevant to Perth, every single person that puts up, can you please get a quote on this, which is a little $100 squiggle or somebody thing, he's the first one to comment. I've got time tomorrow, I've got time,
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't tell him I knew that, but I was just thinking, well, if you only do full body suits, and it's not Jam and Law, by the way,
Okay.
how come you're doing these little squiggles and jumping on every job that comes on
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah, it's
crazy.
interesting, eh? It's interesting because I think, for a long time, it was like a psychological tactic for clients to see, he's whatever, and it's just full psychology.
In the old days, we didn't have a telephone. We didn't have a front counter person. We didn't have nothing. You walked in a tattoo shop, and if you didn't get tattooed that day, you had to be there first thing next morning, and then you might then appointments slowly come in. Then we got a telephone, and then it's developed, and I get that, but and some people definitely are booked out and books closed, but I put not all of them. I put some of them in a humorous basket.
Yeah, that's it. Would you believe now when we open our shop, my brother was setting up our webpage and he goes, "Oh, what's the phone number for the shop?" I said, "Nah, there isn't one." He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "No phone." He's like, "How are you opening a business without a phone, mate?" He goes, "Come on, wake up to yourself." I said, "No phone." And still to this day, we've been there 4 years, no phone.
Yeah. No phone.
And no person on the counter.
yeah, it's just us two.
Whatever works for you. You get your model happening. But do you wait 10 weeks before you reply to your DMs?
No, not at all.
I try to stay on top of it.
Yeah, it stresses me out. So yeah,
Yeah, they pile up too quick.
but we isn't that funny? Because we still live by that. We don't have a shop phone, so that people can't contact us. I used to find at the old shop, the shop that I used to work at, the phone would ring and I'd have to waste a pair of gloves, which I would have to pay for. Then I'd go and pick up the phone. Hello, how much for a sleeve, mate? I'm like, oh fuck, like come on in, dude. Like what the heck?
Have you got time for walk-ins today and they never show up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind those ones. But yeah, how much for a sleeve and like quite redundant questions where I could imagine this person sitting in their bed, I don't know, trying to organize their life and trying to get a tattoo. But I'm like, fuck you, bro. Have a shower and get out of bed and come and see me.
Yeah, we still have that problem. But we're a service industry, aren't we? So
Oh, yeah.
and if it was a DM or an email or a phone call, sometimes it's difficult to keep it together without being rude, but you must be.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get that job, because we're over top heavy with artists, someone else is going to get that job.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, it's super tricky. I think I don't know, not having a phone at least, it kind of makes it a bit more personal for us because we don't have anyone like on the front counter to kind of handle that stuff. We have to stop and start tattooing. Like it's tricky when your client's sitting there and they're hurting and stuff.
Never give clients your mobile number. I have learnt that.
Nah.
Have you?
No, yeah.
Getting like a text at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh.
Are you busy today? Or things like
I'm bloody sleeping, mate. Piss
pretty
off.
much, yeah.
Damn. Yeah, the only clients that I've ever given my phone number to are like tradie clients that are doing work.
Yeah.
They're like come in to do some plumbing or come in to do some flooring or something. It's like, well, here's my
Yeah,
number.
I've done that, but a few I've given it. I don't do it anymore. But yeah, I learnt my lesson not to do that.
Yeah. No, you've got to have that separation.
You got to.
Yeah.
It's just, call the shop in business hours. You can't go to the doctor or your dentist or another professional person and say, hey, doctor such and such.
Yeah, what's your
Can
personal
you give me
number?
your personal number so I can text you late at night and see if I can come in? It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So why is tattooing any different? Like I understand that tattooing is way more personal than going to the doctor or the dentist, but
Or can you answer an email when the question is, there's no reference at all.
Yeah.
The question is, how much for a sleeve?
Oh, yeah.
how much is a sleeve though, you know?
That is the question.
No one no one can give me a straight answer. I've been wanting to know this for years.
Yeah.
Well, I watched we're getting back to realism. I watched a couple of those colour realistic artists on the weekend, and they were doing a tattoo physical size that I'd do in 2 or 3 hours,
Yes.
and it was taking them 2 or 3 days
Okay.
because it was a totally different concept and approach to the work. Now, mine is traditional based, theirs is colour photo realism, but it deserved the 2 or 3 days they were spending on it. But
Yeah.
how could you tell a client that? Or could I quote that sort of money for a traditional eagle or something as an example, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Or
like,
could they, or vice versa?
well, it's like what we were talking to before about a bloke came into the studio and he had a rose upon his hand, a beautiful, realistic rose tattooed on his hand. Now, he came into the tat shop, spoke to Noel, and Noel, you said, wow, what a beautiful tattoo. You know, how much was it? And this bloke said $1,600 for the top of his hand. He said, whoa, you know, have I been ripped off? And Noel said, no, you haven't been ripped off because it's a different kettle of fish.
Totally different. He said, how much would you charge? And I said, well, I would do it in a different approach. I would do a traditional rose on your hand and it'd probably be $450, somewhere in that range.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't look anything like that because it's different. So how can you quote on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a sleeve is like I don't know, it's a
Yeah.
it's a mystery.
Yeah. How long's a piece of string? It's
How much is a bag of groceries?
yeah.
And you don't
can't
even know what you're going
quantify
to do. What are you going to go and buy Scotch fillet or baked
Yeah.
beans? You know,
Well, that's
100%.
exactly it. So yeah, your bag of groceries can fluctuate in cost.
it. Yeah, exactly.
So will your tattoo.
100%.
Everyone at home listening.
Yeah.
So stop asking.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You need personal consultations is the only way to approach those jobs, whatever style of artist you are, because
Yeah.
everyone's got different concepts. They've got different shaped bodies. They've
Yeah.
got different pain tolerances. They've got
Yeah. Different
Yes.
skin.
different style that they want to approach it.
Yeah.
Someone might come to me and say, I want this done. I say, well, go and see Scott
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he's your man. And we do it in our shop all the time. We've got a bit of a range of artists and we do that. We feed off each other. We also give each other work because we think that client would be better serviced by Scott or Painless or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It's more important to make sure that the client gets the right person doing their job or the right outcome, you know, the best outcome, you know, comes through.
Yeah.
Because you have that client for life then.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
I
their
agree.
friends.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. And if we look after them and take them under our wing a bit and point them in the right direction where they are going to have the best possible outcome, then we're set. We're laughing. Sure, we might not, you know, I don't know. It's good to have that team environment and team where everyone wins.
Yeah, and don't get your nose out of joint because I got a job and you didn't. It could be reversed tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. But yeah. No, I think you guys have a lovely community here.
Yeah, that's what we do. And with the same as the front desk, we look at it with a diary, an electronic diary system, and we look at it and think, well, who hasn't had a job today, or who hasn't got a job tomorrow? So we try and share it. Everyone's got to feed their family. Everyone's got to pay their bills.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
No, exactly.
And it relies on teamwork for that to happen.
And tattooing is a hard job. It's not, you guys know yourself, it's not the job that would suit everyone that thinks, oh, I'll fucking be a tattooist.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you wouldn't expect. A lot of
Yeah.
drawing and a lot of time spent, I don't know, like doing cleaning and setting up and tearing
Yeah.
down and drawing again and consulting and talking to people and
Yeah, we open at 10, but quite often if I've got a lot of drawing, everyone's got their own model that works for them personally.
yes.
Yeah.
My model is I'll go home and I'll, with my iPad or the internet or whatever, or my library, I've got quite a good library at home.
Yeah.
I'll do my research. I've already had a consultation. I've already got measurements. I'll go home, I'll do my research and basic map out that night.
Yes.
Then, it doesn't work for everyone, but then I get up at 5 a.m. next morning and that's when I do my final draft.
Yep.
Because I've slept on it, I've slept on the concept. When I wake up, it's actually in your head.
Yeah.
Yes.
Draw it, come to work, execute it.
Yep.
So that's what works for me.
Yeah.
But most of the public have no idea that you put 10 hours into that piece before you even put a stencil on.
Yeah. 100%.
Can I bring up the back job? Your
Yeah.
back job?
I guess so, yeah.
Like, for instance, a bloke came in, booked in a whole back with Zuzz. He wanted his whole back tattooed. Now, Zuzz went, wow, that's such a big commitment. You spent about 80 hours or, let's say
Oh, yeah, this one, yeah.
you spent all of this time compiling, redrawing, redrawing,
and
scrapped it,
and
started
stressing.
again, stressing, drawing it to the shape of the body, bringing me into it. What do you think, Jake? Should I? And I'm like, yeah. We spent so long on this, where Zuzz was so looking forward to it. He enjoyed every minute of it. The guy no-showed. No call.
hell.
No call.
My first
no-showed.
back piece. Yeah, my
And-
first back piece.
And we thought, you know what? Like, this guy doesn't even fucking realize what he's just done. Like,
Yeah.
the amount of work that's gone on behind the scenes, countless hours of work and preparation for this guy to just go, don't feel like showing up. I'm also not going to call. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a similar one. I can't remember. I think we mentioned it the other night when we were talking with my wife Sue, and that a guy, I tattooed him a few times, smaller pieces. He wanted a full sleeve. He wanted a dragon. He wanted peonies and traditional Japanese background. Same again. At home, fucking around, get him in for a bit of a look and blah, blah, blah. Back in those days, it was all red pencil on tracing paper, worked it up, then you've got to do a final thing. I got to outline it. In 2 sessions it took me to outline it. Didn't see the guy for fucking about 18 months.
Yeah.
Then he
wow.
walks back in the shop where it's all finished.
Oh, no.
He wanted the other sleeve done. And I said, what happened to your arm? He said, I went to Bali. It was way cheaper to get it finished over there.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
All the hard work.
He didn't get thrown down the stairs, but I wasn't very polite.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's so disrespectful.
And every artist has probably got that's been around for more than 5 minutes has probably got a similar story, like yourself with the back job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny because, I think a lot of people see tattooing as something that's, you can make heaps of money and it looks pretty easy and you just hang out. But it's 5 a.m. in the morning. You're up at 5 a.m. with a goddamn fucking iPad pencil in your hand, making it happen.
That's what works for me. But every artist has got a different approach, but they've still got to commit that time, don't they?
Yeah.
It's a full commitment of time. I'm a morning person myself, so I get up at 6 a.m. and do the same thing.
Yeah.
I draw up for my day, literally kind of compile the night before, just real loose.
Yeah, that's what I do, yeah.
And then in the morning, it's like a refinement.
draft.
Yep. And Zuzz operates differently. He does all this stuff at night.
Yeah, I'll try and get it done before bed, but like depending on the night, sometimes I'll get like the most of the sketch done, and then I'll do the same. I'll wake up a bit earlier and finish it.
But whatever. But you've spent 4 to 8 hours behind the scenes not getting paid for it.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
And if you didn't care about your job, you wouldn't. You'd just go through fucking Pinterest and print out anything.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
But it's interesting because people don't see all those extra hours. People don't understand those extra hours. And like that's why they're being charged for their tattoo at what it is. It's like, well, man, like all of that hard work, it's
But we spoke earlier, Jake, when I was doing that other tattoo. I don't know what it's like in Queensland, but I would imagine it's similar. And we've had meetings in the shop. We have not put our prices up here in about 12 or 13 years.
okay.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
But everything else has gone up, like my
Yes.
rent and food and groceries and petrol and everything like that.
And tattoo supplies.
Yeah, and tattoo supplies. But the market won't support it. And then when you get people that get the sleeve or the back piece, you tend to look after them as well.
Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
Yeah, continuation work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, Noel.
All right,
like
cool.
we are we're kind of up on time.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to say thank you so much for having us in your shop.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much for like all your hospitality. It was so nice to meet you on the weekend.
It really
and
was.
I'm so thankful that you were able and willing to sit with us and shoot the shit and like
Likewise.
tell a
It's
few
been
tales.
great talking to you. It's great meeting you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
If you and Sue are ever over in the eastern side, come over or come up to Cairns for a holiday. Look us up. I'll bloody take you around. We'll go find some crocodiles or go and sit on a beach somewhere. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not at the same time, I hope.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, any final words for the people of the internet?
If you want to be a tattooer, be prepared for a lifetime of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wise words.
Wise words.
All right.
Thanks, Noel. Anyway, rats get fat. We're out.
Goodbye.
See you guys.